right, yeah, we're live. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is everybody doing? I hope you guys are having a great Easter. I hope you had a great Easter. If you got to spend it with friends and family, that's awesome. I hope everybody is doing well and enjoying your Sunday. Oh God, I gotta tell you, I get so amused. I do. Oh my God, I get so amused. So we're gonna talk about that in a second. Okay, we will talk about that in a second. But oh God, that's too funny. I just I, I just read a comment and I will share it with you. Actually, let me see if I can pull it up on my phone because it was priceless. It was just awesome. Let's see. Anyway, before we jump into anything, here we go. Okay. Before we jump into anything, I want to just remind everybody that this is a family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you guys to please be kind in the comments. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches are going to boot you out of here. Okay? So just putting that out there to start with. The children will come in and try to play like they do in every live stream because they have nothing better in their lives to do because their lives are sad and pathetic. So that's why I have these awesome moderators that will throw the garbage out. Simple as that. So I want to read this. A couple things are what I love is when somebody comes in and asks obvious questions that if you watched any of the videos you would know the answers to. Okay, but they don't, of course. So the first one 7 minutes ago, you've got a lot of people there, why don't you have a well? Well, we do have a well, right? But of course, why would you try to figure that out instead of just assuming? But this one was my favorite one. Obesity in old age is going to put an end to all these delusions. I love that. That is just absolutely fantastic. I laugh so hard. And so the person that put that, thank you so much for the amusement. Hilarious, right? First of all, do we have an older group? Yes, we do. We got a couple of younger guys in the group, right? Um, you know, are some people overweight, myself included? Absolutely. But we live in a society now where we have a lot of overweight people. Um, when something happens, folks, all what's going to happen is everybody's going to lose weight. That's what's going to happen. No more fast foods, no more anything. You know what I mean? So I love that. I love when people tell me, like when we moved, when I mean me and the dog, when we moved down here, um, and people said to me at that point, they were like, "Oh my God, you're too old to start all over again." And I laughed at that because I'm like, how sad to think that at a certain age you have to act a certain way. I actually had I get well. I'll tell you what I get a lot, which I think is I get a kick out of it. I really do. I'll ask people. I'll say, "How old do you think I am?" And mid 40s is like one of the prominent answers. 45. And I love that. I'll take that all day long. And then when I tell them that I will be 60 on my next birthday, they're like, "No way!" And I'm like, "Yes, it's true." You know, and I'm about to start over again, and I'm older than you are. And that's the whole thing, Delbert. It's here. Okay. Now, I will tell you this. I will share this with you. Physically, can I do what I used to do at 25? Absolutely not. Okay. No way. But they need to know that old and tenacity will beat out youth and inexperience. You got that right, Dale. You got that right. That is for sure. Um, it's just I love those judgments. When that time, I look like I got a lot of experience. Yeah, okay. Can I go as fast as I used to go? No. Um, that's why my plan has always been when a true SHTF situation happens is to stay in place, to bug in here, but hopefully, right, with my people here with me, and we work together, and we, take care of our business. Um, but it amazes me how quickly people like to judge. and they want to, they want to try to make you feel bad. Trust me, I have been called so many things through the years. Being what 14 years on YouTube, I've been called everything that is out there. So, um, you know, it's life is just life, and believe me, small-minded people do not intimidate me. They do not deter me, in any way, shape, or form. And my thing is this, I can't go as fast as I used to go, but if I have a project that I'm doing, I'm not on a time clock. See, there's the thing. I think a lot of people, again, let me just say, we live now in an instant gratification society. It was just like the person commenting, saying that it took me 3 days to build the dog run, and 3 days to do 15 holes when it was actually 2 days, and I did 11 post holes the first day and then four on the second. Okay, but I wasn't in a race. I wasn't. Nobody was standing over me going, "Come on, you got to get this done. This has to be done now." It gets done at my pace. you know Now, when we get together as a group, do we have projects that we want to do? Absolutely. Okay. Do they always all get done? Nope, they don't. Okay. But if we put a dent in things and we got three of the four things done this weekend when we got together at the homestead last weekend. Okay. We got three or four things that we wanted to get done. And the fourth one has a great start on it. So, I mean, like I said, I'm always proud of my people. We have, like I said, we have a vision. And again, those people that are making those comments are probably sitting home playing on their Xbox or whatever crap that's out there. And I don't even know because I don't own any of that stuff. Okay. Um, it's none of that. I don't do any of that. I mean, we take care of our business. And, it may be not as fast as people want to see it to be, but I'll tell you what, I think in the couple of years, actually May will start the third year of the group, so I think we've done fantastic. I have absolutely no complaints. Our progress, I think, is really, really good. You know, yeah, digging in clay is no joke. It's not like digging in sand or dirt. I mean, this stuff is ridiculously hard to dig in. So, but how do you weed out moochers, Ed? Well, if people, a lot of times when I interview people, if people are interested in coming here and being part of what we're doing, there's a process that they go through. I interview off site. I meet them off site first. So if I get any kind of bad vibe from them, they never come here. Or if I don't feel like that they would be a good fit, they don't ever come here. We've had people come and we've had people leave. We have had people that we have had to ask to leave because there are rules. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, people think that they can just do whatever they want in life and it's okay. But, there are rules. And we have, here's the reason why do we have rules, right? Let me ask you this. If there's four people, I'm going to use a great example. You got four people, right? Four people. And you got three people doing all the work, right? And then payday comes and everybody gets paid the same, right? How do you think the three people that worked hard and got the job done, and you had the one lazy person that sat around and didn't do anything, but they got equal credit, they got equal pay? Does that not set up resentment, animosity, problems, infighting? But if everybody's on the same playing field, if everybody has the same expectations, right? You show up this amount of times. These are the projects we're going to work on. You're going to, this is, what we want to get done. And we have a vision of what we want to do. I'll give you a really good example. I try to be as realistic as I possibly can be. Okay. And a chicken run needs to be done. That's something that I can work on while nobody's here. And like I said, again, it doesn't have to happen overnight, but it does have to happen. Hopefully, before the next get together, I will have a lot of work done on that because it really does need to be done. Okay, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But why do you consider that to be a bug out location? My property? Is that what you're asking? Why is do I consider it to be a bug out location? This is the bug out location because the people that are in my group, when something goes bad, they're coming here. We're planning on having, that's why we're doing what we're doing here, because when things go bad, everybody's coming here, and that's in my group, and they're bringing their families and those type of things, and we're going to work together to make sure that nobody comes in here thinking that they can do whatever they want to do. It's as simple as that. Ed, thoughts on AI and how much it can be used to provide false information or videos? I think that is a lot of misinformation can be spread through AI, doctored videos. I'm going to give you a great example of something. So one of the things, like with this topic that I wanted to talk about, right? I'm going to give you a great example. When I originally was going to do this here, I was going to actually let people live on the property. Okay, that was my original thought. And I had these two guys. One was down in Virginia, one was here in West Virginia, up in Morgantown. Okay, and we had all gotten together, and there was an individual that was going to be part of the group as well, right? That wasn't going to live here, but was going to be part of the group as well. And uh, he, my family didn't like him. Okay, they go, I don't trust that guy, and I'm not going to mention the name because that part doesn't matter, but the story is what matters. So, I had these guys' phone numbers, and I was going back north for the winter that year, and then I was going to come back in the spring, and we were going to get everything going. And this other individual had gotten these guys' numbers as well. Okay, and next thing I know, I get an email 3 days apart from these two guys, and almost verbatim, okay, the emails were exactly the same. We appreciate the opportunity, but we've decided not to be part of your group. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, well, that's weird. Something's up. Something's not right. I got a gut feeling, right? Because I listen to my gut. You got to listen to your gut, guys. It's every time I go against my gut, I end up getting burnt. It's just a fact. It's happened all the time. Okay. So what happened was, I got a gut feeling that this other individual was shady. All right. And there was another event that happened here uh, early on when we were starting to look to try to do a group and stuff like that. And I called this guy out and I said, "You're out. I don't trust you. You're out." Okay. Now let's fast forward. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. I got a phone call from, or I think it was an email. I think it was an email from the individual that was in Virginia with his family. Okay. And he said, I would like to meet with you and explain something. Right. And I had members of my group were like, is this going to be cool? Are you all right? You think you're getting set up or whatever? And I'm like, no, I don't get that vibe from this guy. So I'm going to meet with him. So I met with, it was him and his wife, and now he had another child. So he had one child before, and now he had two. And he told me, and this is a great example talking about video and manipulation and AI. Okay. What he told me was this. He said, I have to apologize to you. This individual, and I won't mention his name, was talking with these two guys and said, you know, don't go with Ed, don't be part of what he's doing. I'm going to do my own thing. And then he was showing them excerpts from my videos, live streams, whatever. And this individual thought that I hated religious people, okay, because of the snippets that this individual was showing him. So he was like, basically, like, look at this. This shows you, he's against Christians and he's against this and he's against that. And this guy told me that he went back later and watched the whole thing. They do it with Trump all the time, guys. Okay, they do it with Trump all the time. So I'll take a snippet of something, and so who cares? Island Prepper. Thank you. Wow. Ooh. You know what? You know how hard it is to find somebody where they are? You look at the tax record. Come on down here and try to do something, Island Prepper. I'll give you that. How about that? Just and that's not a threat. I'm just saying. You want to think that you're, oh, I'm calling you out. You're calling out squat. You know, people see that's the stuff right there. Okay, guys, that's the kind of stuff right there. Look at I'm gonna show people where you're at. Oh, here's your address. I can call the town. I can cause problems. It's people are just jerk offs. I mean, they really truly are. You know, those type of people though, they stay home. They don't do squat. They don't prepare for nothing. All they want to try to do is troll. That's all they know how to do. And like I said, you're not getting to me. You're not going to get to me. Because I know two things for sure, right? Number one, when a true SHTF situation happens, they'll never show up here because they already know what would happen to them if they did. Okay, that's number one. And number two, they won't show up now while the world's a safe place to be because they ain't got the balls to ever be confrontational face to face. All they know is to be keyboard warriors on the computer, and that's it. So, I mean, like I said, they can say whatever they want to say, and I could care less, to be honest with you. So, but anyway, um, yeah, getting there is one thing, leaving is another. Exactly, Dale. You know, yeah, they're internet gangsters, internet tough guys. And like I said, I have invited people before that have made threats against me. I have said, come on down, show up. I'll happy to have a conversation with you. And I've said it on here like that. And people, oh, what are you threatening people? How is that a threat? You want to be a tough guy? You want to talk crap online? Come on down, show up at my place. We'll see what happens. That's all. That's not a threat. And a lot of the people are jealous. You're absolutely right, Sonia, because they couldn't get anybody to work with them to do what we're doing here. And because we're being successful at what we're doing, there's a lot of groups, folks. I will tell you right now, there's a lot of groups out there that will start and they will fall apart. You can ask Old Mutt. Old Mutt has told me that himself in conversations, that there's a lot of groups out there, they get started and then it all falls apart. And, but when I started my group, we started out, I'll talk about this. We started out with 8 members. Okay. The very first month that I met a bunch of people in April. And then we decided, the people that wanted to be part of what we were doing here, they were like, yes, we want to be part of your group. There was 8 original members. So either individuals or families. So eight different families. We'll just put it like that. Of those 8, right? And what I did is I sat down with them that May. And we sat down, our first get together as a group, sitting down, talking, and everything. And this is what I said to them then. I said, there will be an attrition with this group. Some of you that are here right now, here till the end. Some of you will figure out that this is not what you want to do, or you might be asked to leave. Okay. I said, that's the reality. Of the original 8 members, well, one passed away. Ronnie passed away. He was one of the original 8. We still have 3 original members from the very beginning. And I'll tell you, it's Johnson, Sandy, and Mark. They have been with me since the very beginning, and Ronnie was here until he passed away. The other ones, they came in, some of them felt that it wasn't for them, so they moved on. And that's perfectly fine. And here's my thing. I don't have animosity against any of those people. This wasn't for them. Glad you found out and you wanted to leave. And of the original 8, nobody was asked to leave. Okay, so of that original 8, nobody was asked to leave. They left on their own. So that happens. That is going to happen. Now, We've had people come in since then. Like Rob has been here. Um, I think Rob came in 3 or 4 months after we got started. Okay. And then, Dave's been here for a long time now. And, so we have certain members that have come in and joined since then that have been here for a long time as well. We have some newer members that have come in. We had one gentleman that we had to ask to leave because of attendance issues and stuff like that. He contacted me and he asked to come back, right? And so I brought it before this. And here's what I want you guys to understand: every decision that is made is not just Ed going yes or no. That's not how it works. Okay, so there's myself. I have a committee of 3 members. We discuss things with as far as big decision making things like bringing somebody back in. And so I talked. No, no. The guy that lives in the blue house is a dear friend of mine. His name is Steve. I've known him for 30 years. So Steve has been here. Steve is actually in August. Steve will have been here for 3 years already. Yep. So, but I've known Steve for 30 years. So, real good friend of mine. We go way, way back. And so, he had hit some hard times, and I had told him through the years, come live on my property. You can build something. I don't care, blah, blah, blah. And so Steve is the only full-time member or person. He's not even a member of the group. He's just a friend of mine. Okay. So, but Steve is, he's the only other person who lives here full time. And people ask me, well, why do you let Steve live there full time? All right. Well, if I'm traveling, if I decide to go to New York, then somebody's here. The place that way, any kind of trollish individuals out there, right? um, they know that if I'm gone, oh, he's not at his homestead. We can go screw around. Well, they can't because somebody's here. So somebody's always here, and so that is one of the reasons. If you want to call him a caretaker, if I need any help with anything, Steve gives me a hand. Dealing with the chicken run, the one time that it was all the way down the hill, trying to drag that up the hill by myself, it's tough. When I was putting up the dog run, I dug all the post holes and did all that. I needed his hand with the fencing. So, basically he held it. I rolled it out. I would say, okay, stop. He's holding the fence. And then, I would be tacking up the stuff. It's tough to do certain things alone. So having somebody there to help you makes things go much, much better. So, and so that's, there's a lot of benefits for Steve being here. But yeah, just let us know, Malachi's Corner. Just let us know. But like I said, we're a great team. We work together very well. We all have a similar idea of what we want to do. And again, no, let me rephrase something else. Nobody is forced to be here. Okay, if they don't want to be here, they can go, and that's just the way it is. But it's just it happens. It's just the way it is. But if somebody leaves and they don't want to be part of what we're doing, that doesn't mean when things go sideways that they show up and we let them in. No, because if they couldn't hack it and stay then when things are fine, you think we're going to let them in when things are bad? It doesn't work that way. So, I mean, but, like I said, but again, with a committee, we make decisions on important stuff. So, like with allowing the one individual to come back into the group, and it's on a probationary period, but I like this kid. I thought he was a great kid, and I hated to let him go. But again, it's not fair if everybody else is showing up and you have an individual who's not showing up. It's not fair to the other people. So you have to make hard decisions sometimes, and that's just part of it, guys. I mean, it's just all part of the whole process. And some people get it, and some people don't. The Marshmallow Man became a beginning prepper. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support. Thank you very much for doing that. So, but yeah, it's like I said. The whole thing is just, there's going to be judgment, and I know that the trolls have been back here for the last couple of weeks, and whatever. They really don't bother me. They really don't. You can call me fat, old, stupid, bald. It really doesn't matter because I don't care. I'm going to share something with you, and this is kind of the way I feel about trolls. Okay, when I was married to my second wife, I'll tell you a quick story. When I was married to my wife came to me and she said, "My mom is saying you should do this or you should do that or you should do the other thing." And I said to my wife at the time, I said, "Okay, here's what we're going to do. Either you're going to tell her or I'm going to tell her. And I will not be as tactful as you will be with your mother. But here's the message I want you to relay to your mother. When you pay the bills in this house," meaning her mother, "when her mother pays the bills in this house, she will have say so in this house. Until then, she can shut the F up." Okay. And that's the way I feel. You pay my bills, you got say so. You don't pay my bills, you got no say so. And that was the end of her mother trying to interfere and say anything about anything. So, Ed, I'm 75 and still can't trust and depend on anyone I've known, not even relatives. Tony, that's tough. That makes it hard. Yeah, it's. I'm going to tell you what. I have been very, very blessed. Very, very blessed because, like I said, the people that are part of my group, Sandy, Mark, Rob, Dave, Johnson, and everybody else, we're like a family. Okay. Now we're not related, but we're like a family, and we're putting a lot of trust in each other. You know, a lot of trust in each other, and that's what it comes down to. Do you trust me? Do I trust you? Because when that time comes, you better trust the people that you're around because, if you don't trust them, there's going to be issues. So, to me, that's a really important aspect of everything. You got to have that trust. And so, you do the best you possibly can. And like I said, I've made mistakes. I let a couple people come in here that, it ended up being a huge mistake. And I learned from that mistake. And that's why I do the screening that I do now. Okay. I'll tell you another story. Again, early on in this whole endeavor, I never had a group before. I never, I didn't know like, what I needed to do or what I didn't need to do, but I learned. I definitely learned. Okay. Had this piece of garbage from Connecticut. All right. And I won't even say his name either because it doesn't matter. He was calling, wanting to come down. And something inside me goes, don't let this guy come down here. Don't let this guy come down here. And I went, oh, I'm going to give him a chance. Right. So the guy comes here when we had our meeting get together in April before we started our group. And this was that other guy was involved in this situation as well. Um, so what happened, the guy that I kicked out of the group, and this is part of the story with this guy. Okay. So he had a camper, he had his truck, he had an older truck, and he had this camper, and he was in the upper meadow with this camper. And so after everybody else left, I said, I'll let you stay here for a little while, be traveling back to New York, and you got to be out of here before I travel back to New York. So I'm doing a live stream here. It was a Sunday, just like today, a Sunday. I'm doing this live stream. It was warm weather. I think this was in end of April. And so the live stream gets over. That individual that I kicked out of the group calls me and said, that kid stole from you. And I went, what? He goes, that kid stole from me. I go, what are you talking about? While I was doing my live stream, he snuck down here. I had 3 gas cans behind the back of the camper at that time. And he took those gas cans, went back up, filled up his truck. Maybe I think it was 4 gas cans. I think it was 4 gas cans. So he had to make 2 trips. Got the gas cans, went up, filled up his truck, left the camper, and he left. Okay. And so this guy is telling me, I go, what? Well, dude, how did you know? He goes, while I was talking to him, he goes, and see, I got your back and blah, blah, blah. But what I figured out really quickly was, okay, he was telling this kid what to do to be able, because this kid wasn't smart enough to get out of his own way. Came down here, he told the kid, come down, steal the gas. And then he tried to make himself look like my buddy, my hero trying to protect me and that crap. Okay. So I had somebody in the group that had some information seeking skills. This kid was like a convicted felon, had run from the police, had crashed into a police car, had spent several years in prison, and he's only like 24. So after that, I've never not listened to my gut again. That was number one. Yeah, he was trying to distract. Exactly, JJ. Never, number one, I've never not listened to my gut again since then. And number two, there is a process that people have to go through if they want to be part of what we're doing here. It includes background checks so that I know what I'm kind of person I'm dealing with. And again, I don't care what you did 15 years ago. All right. If you got popped for marijuana or whatever 15 years ago and you got nothing since, I don't care about that. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But when you have something that, in the last 6 months you've been arrested 4 times, you're never coming here. So those are the things you really gotta, when it comes to doing something like we're doing here, you do have to be careful, because I don't want the people that come here to worry about, is my crap going to get stolen? Is somebody else in the group going to steal my stuff? And we have not had that issue because of the way we do things. So what do we got? 243 in the chat, guys. We got 102 thumbs up. I'm going to set a goal here. Okay, we got to hit 200. We got more than enough people that are watching, that if everybody that hasn't shot a thumbs up yet hits that thumbs up, we could definitely hit 200 easy. And if we hit 200, I'll stop asking. And I think this is the first time I'm asking anyway. So please shoot that thumbs up to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So, people see that we have a very cohesive group. We have a good group of people here, okay? That didn't happen by accident. We just didn't get lucky, There, like I said, you have to have a process. And, and sometimes, what happens is, and I think this does happen sometimes, the fantasy of this, living off grid and being part of a community and, working on something together, it's a great fantasy for some people. And then the reality is when you actually have to come in and invest your time, invest your money into what's being done, a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to do that, So and that's okay. That's okay, But that doesn't mean, that they get to come back when things go sideways and go, well, we were part of the group before. Yeah, but you left because you didn't want to have to do the work. I mean, it's been a lot of hard work down here, a lot of hard work, and none of it's been easy. And like I said, digging into this soil is a freaking nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. So, it just, like I said, this is what happens. And then again, like a lot of you have said, people are going to be jealous of that. Well, how can they do that? And and then they want to try to cause trouble, and they want to but and that's okay. They'll never. No, let me rephrase that. Well, I was going to say they'll never accomplish anything, but if they put in the work, they could do the same thing. But the thing is, they don't want to. They don't want to. They don't want to put in the work. I'll tell you what. I've developed really strong friendships with the people in this group. And it's a team. It's a second family. So, people don't get it. That's okay. You don't have to get it. It's just when the time comes, we're gonna, if you guys ever remember the movie Heat, okay, and in the movie Heat, the guy's talking about Cruz, right? The cop. Oh God, I can't think of his name. But anyway, he's talking about Cruz. He goes, "This is the no. I'm sorry. No. I'm thinking of the wrong movie. I'm thinking of the movie. Um, it was the it was in Boston where all the bank robbers and Ben Affleck was in the movie. And this is the not they're not playing around. And when it comes, that's what we are. We're the not effing around crew, okay? Because you come here and you want to be stupid after an event, it, you come at your own peril because we're not screwing around. You know, I mean, we haven't sacrificed and sweated and done everything that we've done here for some Momo to come in and think he can just take it over or take our stuff. Not going to happen. Did you ever see the movie called Capricorn? I think I may have, Tony, but it was a long, long time ago, so I really don't remember. It sounds like respect for each other dominates your group. Keeping your word is everything. Absolutely, Sharon. I'm going to tell you what, and that's absolutely true. Here's my rule of thumb. You screw me one time, you never get a chance to screw me again. Okay? You'll never get a second chance to screw me. Now, somebody leaving the group is not screwing me. Okay? I don't want you to think that's what I'm talking about. But if you lie to me, that's a big no no in my book. I don't like liars. Because if you're, see, here's the thing with liars, okay? The Town, yes, JJ, the movie The Town. That's great movie, by the way. I love that movie. But it's like if you lie about small, little, insignificant things, how can I trust you not to lie about bigger things? So I don't like liars. That's like one of my huge pet peeves. And so, you know, I want because I'm straight up. I tell people just the way it is. Some people respect that, some people don't, and that's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to like it, but I don't know any other way to be. And if I give you my word, if you're part of my group and I give you my word on something, it's going to happen because that's just how I roll. So, you know, how do you keep your dog safe from the venomous snakes? You stock up on anti-venom, which is crazy expensive. No, actually, you know, hold on, I got to get my slipper back on here. Um, the snakes are not like laying out in the field. You know, the snakes are down, you know, near the creeks and all that type of stuff. And I know the dogs go to the creeks, but you know they're not stupid either. And the puppies follow Hella, who's now right here. You know, she's the boss. So you know, there's certain places that she goes, but yeah, I haven't really, to be honest with you, the poisonous snakes down here, I really haven't run into them, but I try to stay away from those type of things. Besides the greenhouse, are you going to put in raised beds? Probably not raised beds down here, morning light. With greenhouses, you can extend your season longer either way, and do it that way. So, um, you know that's like one of the things that we've been talking about. You know, we got to sit down as a group and discuss. You know, once we have this shower room squared away, which it could take a couple of months before that's up and functional. You know, it could take that long, and that's okay. You know, however long it takes is however long it's going to take. But once we have that done, you know, like we have other things that we're going to focus on next month, but we will look at getting more of the T111, getting more of that siding up, and then we, you know, and get the roof on as well. So that'll be something that, hella, stop, baby. That hurts. I got a bare shoulder. I don't have the shirt on today. No. But, you know, we have to sit down and we have a couple of other projects that we really want to do that are going to cost money, that it's going to take time to get those done. And I was kind of talking about it with the people, excuse me, in my private chat. And, you know, I think that come on, baby, we got to get down. Um, we kind of, with talking with them, we kind of came to the same kind of thought that I had once we get this project done, the next project needs to be this next project. But I got to discuss that with my group, and if we all agree on that, then we move forward. And that's the other thing too, with the group. And I'll explain this so just so you understand. If you're a member of my group, you get a vote. We're going to work on projects. And, okay, so what we do is if we say like with the shower room. So in March when we got together, we talked about let's next month let's one of the projects that we want to get done is start working on the shower room, and we voted on it. So you have to be here to be able to vote, so you got to show up, and every family gets one vote, right? So that way it's fair. It's very democratic system that we try to implement down here. Now, does there have to be a leader of the group? I think there's always got to be a leader of a group, okay? And and that comes with responsibilities. And some people are gonna, say whatever they're gonna say, and that's perfectly fine. But you know, I am from being in the military and then being a nurse, and just me by nature. Okay, I am meticulous, anal retentive, focus driven, whatever you want to call it. So if I get that game plan on, this is what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to focus on that. That's what we do. And it actually has always worked out really well. Being a nurse, you have to be very organized. You have to be ready. Things are going to come up. Monkey wrenches are going to come in to play that you didn't expect to come in. It happens. Okay. It happens. But, if you stay the course, stay focused, you can achieve anything. And I talk about that all the time too with STD, right? Step, thing, and day. So, it's the same premise. You work at things methodically, and before you know it, they come together and they're getting done. And, the number of people, even here on YouTube, that said, never going to work, too old to get started again, we don't have enough time. We have whatever time we have. Okay. And I'm grateful for every extra month that we get because it puts us closer to our goals, and that's why, like I say, next month, the focus next month is going to be getting everybody that has a wood stove here and ready to go, get them in, get them set up. Everybody that has their gutters here. The rain catchments are here. We bought those months and months ago. I think we bought them. God, when did we buy them? January. I think we bought them in January. So everybody that wanted a tote for rain catchment, it's already here. So now it's a matter of getting them set up and getting them in place and getting, waiting for a rain to come and filling them up. Can't fill them up if they're not hooked up. So trying to get those things squared away. um, Thank you for your answering my question. And your dogs are so beautiful. Seems like a lot of fun. Oh, I'm going to tell you what, David. I'll tell you what. This is what I just said to somebody just 2 days ago. I said, "How can you have a bad day, right? How can you have a bad day when you wake up in the morning and you let those puppies out and they're all over you, just giving you love. They're so happy to see you. They're just, you know, how can that ever be a bad thing?" Okay, yeah. Do I have four big puppies and it's is it work? Sure it is. I had somebody made a comment. They're like, "Oh, 5 dogs with that poop everywhere. No, thank you." Well, good, then don't do it. You know what I mean? Don't do it. I don't care. I love my animals. These dogs are awesome, and they're I really enjoy them. So. Are you going to have a rapid radio system in place for the group? We've talked about that with the ham radios and stuff like that, and a lot of group members do have ham radios. Communication to kind of let us know that they're coming in, so that we don't shoot them by accident. So we have a kind of a communication system set up that way. And oh, the dogs are just, they bring such joy. And they do. They bring such joy, and all they want is your love. And the loyalty of the dogs is great. Have you thought about offsite groups that you help? I'll tell you what, Jimmy. If somebody wanted, me to come in, and do like, I don't want to call it counseling, but to kind of, you know, look at their group, see what they're doing, what they need to focus on, or anything like. I would be more than happy to do that. Consult, if you call it a consultation, I would be more than happy to do that. Because here's my thing, and I've said this before as well: the more people that we have working together, groups that we can communicate with and talk with each other with, um, you know, then we're not going to be attacking each other. You know what I mean? So maybe we have another group that we can barter with, which is an awesome thing. It's an awesome concept. So, all right, we're at that time. So let's do this real quick first. We're 153 thumbs up. So we need 47 more thumbs up. We got 221 people in the chat. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you again to do so to show support for the channel. And I thank you very much ahead of time for that. It really does make a huge difference with the algorithms. So I appreciate it for that reason as well. Again, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And like I said, the goal is 200. So I think we can get 200, guys. It just needs a little bit of help there. We're at 156, so we're 44 away. All right. How many eggs today? And yes or no, did Miss Betty White lay? So I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses in, and we will go from there. I'll give you a moment to get your guesses in, and I will let you know. Hey, Malachi's Corner, appreciate you. Thank you very much, and I appreciate the donation. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm going to give you guys a couple more minutes to get your guesses in. So now we're at 162, so we need, what, 38 more thumbs up. So I'm going to take a hit of my green tea. All right. And we do have a correct answer. It took a while. I kept watching. It was like, come on, somebody's got to get it right. And the winner today, with the correct guess of 2 eggs and yes for Miss Betty White, is Malachi's Corner. So she gives a donation, then she pops in with the right guess. So that's awesome. So congratulations to Malachi's Corner. You've won absolutely nothing, but you are happy about it. So there we go. Yeah, yesterday I got 4 eggs yesterday, and Betty White didn't lay. Today I got 2 eggs, and she did lay. Beautiful day, absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous day down here. It was absolutely awesome. So here's another thing to throw out at you guys. So not only is it Easter, it is also Happy 420 Day because it is the 20th of April. So 420. And those of you that know what I'm talking about, um, there you go. So all of you smokers, happy 420 day as well. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just say I don't know and I'll explain it to you. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, 420. When a lot of profiles, when people are on dating profiles, they say they're 420 friendly, which means they smoke pot or they're not. They're okay with somebody else smoking pot. So in 420, right, is April 20th. So it's like, happy 420 day. So that's about smoking pot. So for those of you out there that are smokers, oh, it's also Hitler's birthday. Well, happy birthday, Mr. Hitler. And that's a joke for those. See, that could be taken out of context, right? Somebody could take that little clip and say, look at this. He's one of those white supremacist pro-Nazis because he wished him a happy birthday as a joke, right? But they wouldn't show the rest of that. Too funny. But anyway, yes. But again, guys, the reality is, if you're willing to put in the time, the effort, the hard work, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only one. I know there's a lot of people that have groups and they have different parameters of what is acceptable, what's not acceptable, and every group is different. Like, I will tell you a couple things that I tell the people that if they want to be part of my group, okay? I tell them right off the bat, I said, first of all, we are not a militia. If you want to be part of a militia, this is not the group for you, okay? I always say that right up front. And I said, the second thing is, we are not an anti-government group. We're not looking to overthrow the government. We may not like the government, right? So we're anti-government in the fact that we're not big fans of the government, but we're not one of those groups that's looking to overthrow the government. I said, so if you're looking for that, again, this is not the group for you. What we are, a group of people, what we want to accomplish, what we want to get done, we want to work together now while things are normal, whatever that is anymore, prepare, and when the time comes, we band together and we want to survive. I think a lot of people want to survive. They don't know how to get around it, to do it, or whatever the case may be. So that's what our group is about. People coming together, working together, like-minded people. I have religious people in the group, and I have non-religious people in the group. And again, I don't care what color you are. We have people of different colors in the group, okay? Which I hate that, because it's like you're a human being first, okay? But people always want to do the race thing. We have different backgrounds, different ethnicities. I said that wrong, but you know what I meant. And again, and I don't care what religion you are, I just don't. Oh, I smoked a lot of pot back in my day too, Sonia. I smoked a lot of pot back in the day. For me, everybody's different. I have some people will tell me, oh, yeah, I smoke pot and it helps me to focus and I do better. Not me. If I smoke pot at 8 o'clock in the morning or I smoke pot at 8 o'clock at night, that is the end of my day. Because all I wanted to do was see how much higher I could get, have something to eat, and take a nap. That's it. Nothing else got done. It was a non-motivating thing for me. Uh, I was gifted a membership. Thank you. Oh, so Full of Hope got him 1 month membership. Okay. Well, that was very nice. And the stuff now that's out there, it's a whole lot different than the pot when I was growing up with, too. I'll tell you that. And if you haven't had edibles, my advice to you, stay away from edibles. I had a friend of mine gave me cookies, right? Edible cookies that he had gotten. And so I'm like, yeah, I'll try this. This is a good story. I like this. This is about. I was actually still living in New York when I did this. Um, I'm like, yeah, I'll try this. So I eat a cookie, the whole cookie, right? 45 minutes in, I'm like, this is BS. I'm not feeling anything. I don't have a buzz. I go, this is crap. 15 minutes later, it hit me. Okay. And I mean, it hit me hard. And I was like, whoa, stoned, bad, really badly stoned. 2 hours later, still stoned. I'm like, I'm taking a nap. I lay down, I take a nap. I wake up from my nap. I was still stoned. 8 hours. 8 hours I was stoned. I was like, nope, not for me. No, thank you. Not doing that again. Oh my God, that was, yeah, yeah. So, how is Heather and your mom and sister doing? I don't know if I told you guys or not. Becky just got engaged. Rick asked her to marry her. They've been together almost 3 years now, I think. And so they've set a date for next year. Next July, I believe, is when they're getting married. And so congratulations to Becky and Rick. They're really doing well. Heather's doing great. She loves her job. She's doing really, really well there. Um, Mom is good. she's hanging in there, and so yeah, I mean everybody's good. Jeannie's doing well, so family's all good. But yeah, Becky's happy, and I'm happy for Becky. Um, Becky made, like a lot of us, made a lot of bad choices when it comes to relationships, but now she's got somebody that treats her really, really well, and that's a good thing. So so I'm really, really happy for her. So what do you got? 178. We need 22 more thumbs up, guys. Can we hit 200? We got like 5 minutes to go. Can we hit 200 before we jump off of here? So let's keep them up there. If you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, please do so. Pot has pesticides called prednisone study in California related to Parkinson's disease. I it could happen, I guess. I mean, I don't know. As far as that goes, there's all kinds of studies done that don't always necessarily mean they're true, right? I mean, let's be realistic. Do you really trust the system anymore? Really? I mean, if you do, then good for you. I don't. I do not trust the system at all. So what do you got? We're at 185. We need 15 more, guys. 15 more thumbs up. But anyway, so like I said, it's like things are going to be manipulated as far as things taken out of context, people's comments taken out of context. Like, have you ever texted somebody? Right, this is a good example too. You ever texted somebody and you go, "Man, they're being snarky," and maybe they weren't being snarky at all. Maybe they were just trying to be funny, but it doesn't come off the same as when you're talking, is when you're reading it. So that's you know yeah, I wish it because I don't trust the system at all. Yeah, me neither. So yeah, JJ says don't grow your pot in pesticide infected areas. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. So we got 189. 11 more, guys. 11 more thumbs up, please. Just because, why not? Let's hit 200 before we jump off. But yeah, it's yeah. Sean just said it. Pot only has pesticides if you put it in there, and that's true. Yep, grow organic. Again, they have all the places now where you can go buy pot, and the what do they call them? I don't even know what the heck they call those places. But do you trust what they're giving you? I mean, real what? Because the government says it's okay. You know, not the vape shops. No, it's they call them something else. I can't think of what they call them. Um, Dispensaries. Yes, and I love that term. Right? Yes, dispensaries. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Dispensaries. What a great play on words. Again, a great play on words. Oh, dispensing. Where it's a dispensary. It's a good thing, right? You would think, well, that's a good thing. All done by the government, which is awesome. Yeah, I don't trust them at all. Again, like I said, that's just me. You want to trust the government? That's your thing. Good for you. We need 9 more thumbs up, guys. 8 more now. We need 8 more thumbs up. So, but yeah, well, and it's always this is what I thought it was funny. Okay, any state that starts out with um, medical marijuana first, right? They always come out with the medical marijuana first. We're going to do medical marijuana, um, and it's to help people. Darn well they're going to go to a full legalization. I mean, I grew up in New York. It was never legal. Now it's legal up there. So to walk up there and see people smoking pot out in the open in the city or whatever, it's a whole different mindset because it's like, holy crap, that's just crazy. Because we had to do it the old-fashioned way. You grew it yourself, you sold it to your friends, you know, made a little extra money. Maybe you smoke, sold it and you smoke for free. So smoke for your head. Too funny. So we got 5 more, guys. 5 more thumbs up puts us at 200. Can we hit that? But Legal marijuana in Washington State has ramifications. Any of the states. So here's a good tip for anybody out there that does not know. Let me share this wonderful information with you. And I want you to think about this, okay? If you get your medical marijuana card, right? You go out, oh, I need medical marijuana. So you get your medical marijuana card. There goes your gun rights. You are no longer allowed to own guns. You will never own a gun if you have your medical marijuana card, because that's one of the things that you give up to smoke your pot from these dispensaries. Again, end of the day, folks, it's always about control. What does owning a gun and marijuana have anything to do in common, right? When was the last time? Let me ask this: when have you ever heard of the person getting stoned out of their mind? Are you on your way home? Are you under Sean? Oh, now I see you. It's Heather, guys, and she's giving me a hard time. I didn't see your comments. All right, well, I'm almost done, so I'm going to have to let you go, and I'll call you back when I'm done. All right, I love you. All right, bye. And I saw Sean was in here, and that's Heather's boyfriend. I did not see Heather, but I guess Heather's home. She must have had the day off. So, but yeah, so anyway, once you have your medical marijuana card, you give up your gun rights. You're not allowed to have a gun. But when was the last time you ever saw somebody get stoned out of their mind, decide, hey, I'm picking up my gun and I'm going to go shoot up the town? Never happens. Never going to happen. So why? Why is that part of that process? It's about control. Control. So I see we hit the 200. So thank you guys. I do appreciate. See, Heather didn't put it in cap locks. That's why I didn't see Heather in there. So it's partly her fault too. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me and sharing part of your Easter with me. I won't be live streaming again until Friday. So Friday I'll be live streaming at 6 o'clock for my hardcore members. If you'd like to become a hardcore member, just go to my main page, hit the join button, become a hardcore member, and you can join us in that private chat. At 8 o'clock, I will be doing a live stream for everybody else. I don't know what the weekend looks like for next weekend yet, because I won't get my schedule until like Thursday. So, but anyway, guys, be safe, keep prepping, take care of your business. Control what you can control, and remember the most important thing, right? STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. You can accomplish anything that you set your mind to if you just work at things methodically. All right. So yeah, double up on the edibles. Oh, um, but yeah, if you just work at things, you can accomplish anything. Realistic goals. If you set realistic goals that you can reach, get them done, and then you don't have to do them again. And that's what it comes down to. That's always what it comes down to. So anyway, guys, be safe. I will talk to you all later. Have a great rest of your Easter, and I will see you on the next one. Prepperness One, out for now.